Yeah, I need to get it out today. So, just leave the edits in? Okay. I mean, you know our motto, if it's not Michael Jordan or it's John Stockton, it might as well be about the process. Share the process. Okay. All right. I'm going to record that little intro bit we talked about. Okay, peace. Here we go. Viewer discretion. This video is rated YY. The content ahead is perfectly suited for a die-hard NBA fan, the stat sticklers, and even the grizzled, bitter NBA was better back then type. Also people who believe the NBA is made up of Lamar Odoms and Tristan Thompsons. And yes, it's also even for the worst of the worst, including in that the people who use the term goated sincerely. And of course the backbone of the NBA bandwagoners. So yes, this includes you. Even you. Yeah, you. It's easy to forget that monsters are all over the place. We just have this routine of once we give something a name, we get used to it, accept it, rationalize it, get bored of it, and then we start to take it for granted. I mean, we on a daily basis look past the fact that there is a literal giant squid that fights a literal giant whale in incomprehensible depths and pressures in pitch black. And if we can't take a second to appreciate that every now and then, how can we ever truly appreciate a probably Hall of Fame career of Andre Iguodala? Or even 2020 laughingstock Paul George? I mean, there are less pro basketball players than giant squids, and way less Andre Iguodalas than any undiscovered creatures at the bottom of any random trench. Hang on with me, just give me a second, I'm gonna make sense of all this. I promise. That's my promise. But first, you gotta make those. Dallas and undiscovered creatures at the bottom of any. You know, there's a precise place at a very precise distance off in the universe where the light being received from Earth, the light emitted from Earth that is just getting there right now, is from 2014. And to any beings that are at that distance, I say, hang on. Enjoy the ride, new Warriors fans. There's also another place where the view of Earth is from around 65 million years ago. And to those who observe from that distance, whether your ratings count or not, I say hang on for the ride. Raptors? Like Raptors. It is funny. You're right. It's bad, but it's a segue to my next topic. Okay. I didn't say that. Because really, who on earth actually saw the Toronto Raptors winning an NBA title ever? I know it happens in baseball, and that's still weird. Hockey doesn't count. NFL would never. A non-US based team figuring out how to win an NBA championship? That's something that is pretty significant, I'd say. And it's probably why they went all out and all wrong with this Game of Zones type banner.
So on the Toronto Raptors, they failed. I mean, when you look at that 2019, why is 2019 shorter? Why did they put it in slightly smaller font than the word world?
Right.
And basically world, I mean, I think it's NBA. I mean, I think it's false advertising.
I mean, this really does look like medieval times decor. Medieval times, the restaurant. Anyway, point is, with a little luck, we will be finding and talking to the individual or team responsible for making this particular banner and getting to the bottom of what the heck happened. Also, speaking of raptors, how often do you really consider the fact that Earth was a planet of monsters for like a bajillion years? Like monsters. Just walking around, and sure, we give them names and call them Brachiophorpus and Dinomagorkus and
Male Majungasaurus.
But another very reasonable way to refer to them would be anybody flying around space around that time would look at Earth and say, well, that's a damn monster planet. Probably not worth it. But what's interesting is that it's also similarly hard to believe that insane creatures are still here now, with even more horrifying, bone-rattling powers, much more devastating than just biting your head off like those guys. Hacks. I guess maybe they did kind of invent biting your head off. They were the originals, I guess. We're the hacks. But we have things like this one, this monster here, that can vibrate a human body to death. I'm talking about God Shamgod here. Seriously, for a creature to be able to express themselves through sound and waves and mini waves, able to communicate
from hundreds, even thousands of miles away. It's the loudest animal on the planet.
While also devastating the flesh of any weaker, out of place organism, all through the same naturally evolved organic internal tubes. That's math. Physics. But they don't even have to think about it. It's just natural. It's a natural progressively developed capability that just takes fine tuning. Like this colorful bluebird over here running up the real estate prices in this region of the forest. See, but NBA players, all of them, they are also finely tuned, developed human creatures. Some which are literal giants. We think monsters are mythical, we think giants are mythical, but no, they are amongst us. From a technical standpoint, they are giants. And they can almost all shoot. At least better than you.
Why would you say that?
All players can shoot better than you. And I always just think about the crazy math involved in something like hitting an open three, right? And then you could be on the move, jumping, drifting, a defender in your face. Almost. Thank you for coming down. Come back in 15 minutes, okay? Okay, just go right upstairs, okay? Where or how is the calculation being done in order to complete all of this? I mean, I feel like brains are severely underestimated. Like, we're all secret geniuses. Just being able to walk and then how about the even more insane math involved with knowing your shot is so correct you don't even have to check your work. Celebrating before it even goes in. I mean, it's a literal feeling. And I don't know your stance on sixth sense, you know, like my wife's intuition or my oldest son's innate quantum engagement with the emotional waves and maximum potential emotional atom-splitting timing to perfectly interrupt his little brother just as he rounds the corner of "what are you talking about" to "oh, I see. You might have a point. Why?" Doesn't make any sense. But back to the feeling of a shot going in before it goes in. Good Lord, feeling it and expressing it publicly and then being right. I don't think there's a better sports feeling. And the beauty is that everyone can participate. Other guys on the court.
That's a warm-up three, yes sir!
Fans, guys on the bench.
Now watch. He's not watching it go in. He's going to high five Andre Iguodala. Give me some, give me some, give me some. I'll assume it went in.
Oh,
It did.
now that is some swagger right
Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game.
I still hold this
Back out to Allen. His three-pointer.
this particular celebration from Norris Cole as one of the purest moments of joy and hope and optimism that a human can feel. And it's great, because you can get it wrong 100 times.
But still a three-point game.
Which is exactly what happened just a single play prior.
James gets a look at a long three.
Norris Cole leapt out of his seat as LeBron James put up a three and bricked. But if you participate in an on your feet, yes, it's good moment with the ball still in the air while everybody else is waiting for confirmation, you have broken through to the other side of momentum. The one where you're not just enjoying it, you're now a part of it. You're a part of this, Norris.
Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
You are a part of this. Okay, seriously. There's all these people who build robots. You ever think about those guys? Robots are their life. People who build various machines to mimic human behaviors, and boy, we get juiced when a single one even remotely works, right? When all it does is not fall flat on its face, we're like, wow, did you see that robot? Barely open that door? Oh, they're gonna take over, man. I mean, can we just take a second and appreciate the machinery that life has already developed? We're over here wowed by the idea of an invisibility cloak, like it's something crazy. Meanwhile, ancient ass gush balls have been doing that for centuries. For fun. For cameras. The dissonance in our brain. The dissonance in our brain, or I guess like the perception our experience is filtered through, is so specific. It's so dialed in such a limited way that we can simultaneously live on the surface of an ancient space rock hurtling through darkness in a void where there's literally no down or sound, and also be mad at a basketball team that we don't play for, full of people that you've never met, happen to acquire fans that maybe didn't watch that team from the day they were born. But we can be mad at them. Hold for volcanoes, please. But that's sports. That's gross. But I'm here for it. I'm all here for it. But sports are necessary. It's a necessary vehicle for our barbaric, fully unrational tribalism.
The entire structure of American sports is this artificial tribalism. The idea that it's my team. It's my team because they happen to have my city's name on it, but it's owned by somebody who doesn't necessarily live here. It's a bunch of people who aren't from here but are paid a lot of money to play for us and might get traded away or come and go. It's this bunch of mercenaries who happen to have my city's name on them.
All within what we assumed this entire time was modern, civilized society.
And I invest, says the sports fan, huge tribalism feeling of this is me and this is my team, and when I watch, my testosterone goes up and there's more babies born after my team wins a championship, and there's more heart attacks when lose, and it's this artificial tribalism that is a core part of American sports.
Listen, I'm gonna go to my grave saying this. Please use sports to get out those potentially damaging emotions. The screams, the yells, the curses.
Some of the people who were not celebrating responsibly have thrown some rocks and some bottles at police officers.
Say whatever you want and feel, and get out all the anger you want at the Celtics, so you can maybe not direct that anger towards your kids. Seriously, is there any form of healthy in-home rage yells? Is there any screaming you do at the top of your lungs that is not sports related and wouldn't land you in family court a few months later? I'm not joking. When was the last time you yelled? Was it a low point that scared a family member? Or was it in 2013 when Memphis lost a close one again? I guess games, video games, it can all be an outlet, but we're still talking about games either way. Games being the emotional range missing link. Meanwhile, all of this is made possible by a flaming ball of, I don't know, plasma? You know, the sun? A tumultuous ball of chaos that will eviscerate anything within a million miles of it. only made tolerable when its death rays are filtered through this fragile Adobe Air Dome color filter that we have above the earth. I mean, you get that the sky being any color except black is weird, right? It's special. A blue sky is not the norm. It's not the normal view from most other primordial rock surfaces. They're staring straight up into the void. It's insane. The sun itself is insane. And we're like, oh, just put on some shorts. It'll all be good. I mean, humans will use this floaty flame ball of mystery and doom as a reading light. This thing is so earthly unequivocal that you can't even look at it. Seriously, on an unobstructed day with the sun overhead, you cannot look at it for more than a couple seconds. You stare at the thing too long and it's gonna decommission your retinas. Oh yeah, retinas. And all that eye wiring cones. These are what we burden with the frontline responsibilities for the similarly mysterious concept called the eye test. The eye test. A test that isn't a test. It's a combo of wavy info packets we absorb, some subtle, some obvious, coalescing into a feeling sparked and flipped in your brain behind your underwhelming, visible light spectrum only seeing eyes. It was her again, as she nipped at my feet in that warm, familiar way. My mind wandered, and once again it landed in that same dark place, on that same dark voice. Hubie. Hubie haunts me. Why I'm such a legendary? Play would a man so skilled and so revered ever deem it acceptable to say, elevation. He had time. There was no real rush. Yes, a lot was happening, but elevation. Just as easily as I slipped into this dark world, I was out. Similar to a roller coaster when it goes back into stealth mode. And that's when this feeling gets shot down your spine and pitted directly into your gut. Yep, the eye test. The eye test has so much math it's not even funny, and that's the funny part of it. It's a way to stave off analytics and over-analyzation and a game being turned into numbers. But even your eye test is numbers. It's math, man. It's just math. We've just figured out how to do it inherently. The eye test is mathematical assessment with numbers and data points and whatever else. We just don't like to give it that framing. We need the eye/gut test to be this indescribable mystery only Charles Barkley and Kendrick Perkins and every professional scout until 1991 could grasp. Get out of my head, Hubie. No joke. Are there any completely blind basketball scouts? I mean, I would love for you to look this up and put it in the comments. Can a player's effectiveness be heard exclusively? Actually, let me go ahead and answer this question now because there's zero reason for me to ask this question 2 weeks ago and not have an answer when I actually post this. So let's split screen this up. Okay, here's what I'll do. As I continue to make my logically sound assessment over there, maybe if they're sitting close enough, you could just hear them. I will see what I can find over here. Let's go. Particular prospect on the court. So there's clearly nothing here. Or that lack of that particular prospect on the court. Private investigator I hired last summer. Can you just close your eyes and tell if a team... So let's go ahead and click on page 10. And in particular, an individual player... Oh, what's this? Did I actually find something? Could you? Is this going somewhere? This isn't a crazy question. It's actually kind of stupid. Wait. It's a good question. Turns out the guy who basically invented sports analytics... The guy who invented sports analytics... People are amazing.
was blind.
I mean, humans can literally
Blind
adapt
in
to
his
sonar-based
left eye.
existence.
That's amazing.
It's hard.
And I swear to you, when I
rare,
asked the question,
but
I had no
completely
idea
humanly
what the
possible.
answer was. But it's interesting because whoever shot this picture was clearly trying to allude to total blindness. I really don't know.
Human exploding whales.
And they don't really mention the blindness in relation to his affinity towards the numbers behind the game as opposed to seeing the game. Seems like there's a story there, but they just kind of dance around here. Regardless, it had to play a part because, come on, it had to. So let's go ahead and say that we found one, and let's toss it back to me.
Okay, here's another thought. Does the width between your eyes give you a better... Does the width between an individual's eyes give them better court vision? I've always wondered this, especially when it comes to...
Okay. I can't seem to get the rest of this exported, so...
Vision. I've always wondered this, especially when it comes to...
You see? It just stops right there. I can't get the second half of this fixed. Alright, I'm just gonna put the first half out. I'll put the second half out in a couple days. I guess we'll stick the thank yous right here. Okay, here we go. As you know, this is part 1. And part 2 is gonna have a lot of answers. And we're gonna wrap a lot of things up and bring it full circle. And we might just end up in some very strange places together. At least we'll be together, because that's what we do here. So look for that video right now, unless right now is the day that I posted this video. But after this day, the video will have been posted, so check it out. And please, Lord Jesus, Lord Christ, just hit the subscribe button and smack that bell if you can. Can we please get to 60,000? Come on, folks. Can we just please get to 60,000? And like it right now. But let me ask you 3 things first, because I need you to comment. I want you to comment. You'd be surprised how much comments actually help these channels. Let me know, when was the last time you screamed your brains out? Also, let me know, how much respect do you have for Norris Cole? And finally, what is the play call that haunts you the way Hubie Brown haunts me? As we go on, I'm gonna let you know that I'm on a brand new microphone, courtesy of a creative partner of mine on Patreon. And we built a microphone together. He built it, I received it, and it's beautiful. You've seen it throughout this entire episode. And we're gonna give one away. Well, not that one, but the little brother of it. It's called The Side Note. This one is called The Storyteller, and that one is called The Side Note. I said we were gonna give it away about 1.5 years ago, but actually, it's gonna happen. Join us over on Patreon. Been pretty dormant over there for a while. That's because I haven't been posting, and I don't charge if I'm not posting. But now, things are gonna get up and running and moving, and you're gonna see a lot of me over there. I know I say that, but I mean it. Next. And as you see here, we are thanking all the individuals who have ever even been over there. People who came for 1 month just to stop by and drop $1. People who have been loyal fans and loyal contributors for 2 years now. These people are the backbone of this channel. And at times, they've been the reason I've been able to get another video out. As you see, we do not have sponsors. NordVPN is not knocking down our door. But trust me, I'll sell out as soon as they do. But in the meantime, we don't. It's you guys. So as we take this journey into a new, odd place of storytelling that I hope you enjoy, the more support we get, the better, the more in depth, and the more fun we can have around here. So please comment, comment, just drop your name. Please do something. Tell my kids you say hi. Tell Mr. Bindi you said hi. Because you know what? As we always say, everything is evergreen. Remember Minute. And you know what? It's never been more true because this is just the beginning. Got it? Alright. Jimmy, you got that? Got that one? Yes, you, Jimmy Butler. Yes. Yeah, I got it.